Why do some kids grow into leaders who make calm decisions, hold teams together under pressure, and inspire trust, while others buckle at crossroads, avoid conflict, or freeze when stakes rise? It's not IQ. It's not a magic gene. It's something quieter, deeper, and far more trainable: emotional intelligence. This is the story of how leadership is born long before business school, in bedrooms, playgrounds, and family dinners. It's about the tiny moments that wire a brain for courage, clarity, and connection. And it's about how parents, teachers, coaches, and organizations can intentionally raise people who lead with empathy, resilience, and strategic calm. If you want future CEOs, community leaders, or team captains who thrive, you don't start with spreadsheets. You start with emotional scaffolding. Let's build it. Leadership begins at home, the first training ground. Long before a child stands up in front of a classroom, they're rehearsing leadership in micro moves, asking a friend to share, coping with being excluded, or calming down after losing at a game. Those small episodes are the repetitions that form emotional habits. Two foundational psychological traditions explain why the home matters so much. Attachment theory, Bowlby. When caregivers provide consistent emotional security, children learn their feelings are manageable, their needs will be met, and the world is safe enough to explore. That sense of secure attachment creates a stable base for risk-taking, the very thing leadership demands. A child who feels safe is more likely to volunteer, to lead a group project, to speak up when others are wrong. Social learning theory, Bandura. Kids don't just absorb rules, they model what they see. If they watch adults handle conflict with calm, apologize when wrong, and take responsibility, they internalize those behaviors. If they see yelling, stonewalling, or avoidance, they mirror that too. The message is clear. Leadership behaviors are contagious. Put those together, and you get a simple proposition. Emotional safety plus modeled competence equals leadership readiness. Parents who combine warmth with consistent expectations are essentially running silent leadership academies in the home. Emotional safety equals autonomy plus support. The parenting formula. Great leaders aren't manufactured by micromanagement or permissive freedom. They're forged in the tension between support and autonomy. Support means steady emotional presence, listening, validating feelings, and coaching through upset. Autonomy means letting kids make choices, solve small problems, and face natural consequences. When kids experience both, they build self-efficacy, the belief, I can figure things out. Self-efficacy is the psychological fuel that turns curiosity into action and anxiety into problem-solving. Practical moves for caregivers. Name feelings out loud. You look frustrated. That's okay. Let's figure it out. Offer choices. Do you want to pack the snack or the water bottle? Small choices teach larger decision muscles. Let them fail safely. Refuse to rescue every small mistake. Failure is practice for resilience. These are not soft, permissive acts. They are the exact scaffolds that create emotionally competent leaders. The myth of the natural leader. Brain science says otherwise. We love the idea of charismatic-born leaders. It's a neat story. Neuroscience tells a different tale. Brains change when we practice. Neuroplasticity means emotional habits are trainable. Repeated experiences of regulation, reflection, and repair strengthen the brain circuits that govern impulse control, perspective taking, and stress tolerance, the core skills of leadership. That's why a child taught to breathe through anger is building the same circuitry a CEO uses in a crisis. Pair that with the growth mindset principle. Skills, emotional or technical, improve through effort, strategy, and feedback. Leadership isn't a lucky inheritance. It's a slow grind of small experiments, honest feedback, and relentless practice. And yes, consistency matters. The famously cited 10,000-hour idea, practice leads to mastery, has nuance. Quality of practice beats mindless repetition, but the message stands. Leadership is an acquired competence. The sooner kids get safe chances to practice, the more likely they are to develop leadership fluency. The emotional map of modern leadership, what leaders must learn. Today's leaders operate in VUCA worlds: volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. Technical skill alone won't cut it. The emotional toolkit matters more than ever. Daniel Goleman's 5 domains of emotional intelligence are the map: self-awareness, knowing what you feel and why; self-regulation, choosing responses over reactions; motivation, aligning energy with purpose; empathy, sensing others' perspectives and needs; Social skill, negotiating relationships and influence. In practice, an emotionally intelligent leader can notice their own spike in frustration, pause, and reframe the next sentence so it builds trust rather than destroys it. That's not mystical, it's practiced attention plus rehearsal. Neuroscience also explains the mechanism. Strong self-regulation engages the prefrontal cortex, while unchecked stress lights up the amygdala. The training we give children, labeling emotions, calming strategies, perspective shifts, literally strengthens the prefrontal circuits. Over years, that translates into better decision-making under pressure. From home to school, where leadership habits get tested. School is the first public proving ground. Here, the child's early emotional scaffolding meets peers and authority structures. Teachers who mirror emotional coaching, validating feelings, modeling problem-solving, and encouraging voice, extend family work into the social world. Classroom practices that grow leaders. Socratic questioning that invites multiple perspectives. Group roles that rotate leadership. Planner, presenter, challenger. Conflict coaching, where teachers guide students to mediate, not judge. When educators intentionally scaffold these moments, they turn ordinary school days into structured leadership labs. Parenting styles that predict leadership, evidence-based approaches. Research on parenting styles offers clear patterns. Authoritative parenting, high warmth, high expectations, consistently predicts confident, responsible children. These kids tend to have higher self-control, better social competence, and stronger problem-solving skills, all leadership precursors. Permissive or authoritarian extremes, too lenient or too controlling, are less likely to produce adaptive leaders. One fosters entitlement, the other, fear. Emotional coaching, the single most powerful habit. One of the most actionable interventions parents and teachers can use is emotional coaching. Inspired by the work of relationship researchers like John Gottman, the method is simple and transformative. Recognize the emotion, name it out loud, validate by acknowledging its reasonableness, set limits if behavior is harmful, explore solutions together, small practices, big impact, daily habits to grow leaders. You don't need grand interventions. Daily micro-practices compound. For caregivers and educators, model repair. Apologize when you mishandle an interaction. Kids learn leadership through observed repair. Teach a breathing ritual, 3 deep breaths to reset the brain before responding. Rotate responsibility. Kids who manage simple tasks, snack prep, game rules, practice decision ownership, praise process. You tried 3 solutions. That persistence is leadership, not empty praise, process praise. Over years, these small, consistent moves become durable leadership habits. The long view, from child to CEO. Leadership development is a marathon of emotional microdosing. Small, intentional experiences stacked over time. Secure attachment, modeled behavior, autonomy experiences, emotional coaching, and systematic practice create a pipeline from childhood competence to adult leadership capacity. Put bluntly, the best CEOs weren't only taught strategy, they were taught how to manage fear, take responsibility, and remain emotionally available under stress. The earlier and more consistently those lessons are delivered, the stronger the future leadership stock. Think of this as the playbook, the part where theory turns into practice. Start by building a youth leadership lab, a simple, repeatable program any school or community club can run. Youth Leadership Lab, 6-week template. Week 1, emotional baseline. Teach kids to name feelings and practice a 3-breath reset. Use short role plays to notice emotional triggers. Week 2, decision. Micro tasks. Rotate small responsibilities. Team captain, materials manager. Debrief choices each day. Week 3, conflict coaching. Teach a 5-step mediation script. Listen, label, ask, propose, agree. Students practice and reflect. Week 4, perspective. Practice. Guided exercises to argue the opposite viewpoint. Strengthens empathy and cognitive flexibility. Week 5, failure labs. Low-stakes experiments where teams try a risky idea and run a short post-mortem. Week 6, showcase and reflection. Students present what they learned, not the perfect outcome, but the process. This template is compact, portable, and evidence-based. Leadership development is lifelong. The most resilient organizations are those that treat emotional learning as ongoing. A continuous curriculum from the first grade through the executive suite. If you want to build a concrete next step, start small. Run a 6-week youth leadership lab in your community, pilot a micro-rotation in HR, or institute a weekly repair script in your leadership team. The payoff is not only better leaders tomorrow, it's a healthier, more creative, and more responsible culture today. Subscribe to the Next Level Leadership. Share this with a parent, teacher, or future leader.